smoke medical weed every day.
The following thoughts on Hoppe Hour represent Ryan Hoppe and that's it. Listener discretion is advised.
Live from Tampa Bay, you are tuned in to Hoppe Hour.
He's the voice of a generation that got screwed by the baby boomers. Welcome back to Hoppe Hour.
Hoppe Hour. Hoppe Hour. Hoppe Hour starts in 4, 3, 2. Hoppe, Hoppe, Hoppe. This is Hoppe Hour with Hoppe.
Where we at? Always going in, never doubt it. Never worry about the dollar. Need a source or trending topic. Be the hottest, search about it. Competition microscopic, never copied. I'm a giant rolling weed up, now we flying. H-O-P-P-E. 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 You already know Hoppe Hour in your system.
This is Hoppe Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe, hanging out with you for the next hour. You can always leave me a voicemail. I want to get that going. I want to get that popping. 856-49-HOPPE. It's 856-494-6773. You can tweet at me at Ryan Hoppe Radio, and you can always email me, ryanhopperadio@gmail.com. Now, if this is your first time listening, with all the free publicity I've been getting online, and you're like, who the hell is Ryan Hoppe? Actually, the last name is Hoppe, and I am the award-winning host of this show known as Hoppe Hour. It is a morning radio experience in a podcast. You never know what I might talk about. 1 second, I could be talking about the NFL, or 1 second, I could be talking about this funny thing that happened to me this weekend. So let's get started with that. All right, enough of this music. So back in 2018, I was looking for a second job because I wasn't making a lot in radio. And my friend was a door-to-door canvasser for the cable company and internet company that rhymes with the word schmontier. And I drove about 40 minutes every day. Never got one sale. I did get into a few people's houses where I was very close to getting a sale. You would go door to door, knock on the door and go, hey, what internet do you have? What internet do you have? And let me just tell you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that I did not get one sale. But I always sympathize with people that do those canvassing jobs going door to door, because you never know how badly they need that money. You know what I'm saying? Because the first thing is, even if you do get a sale, you don't get paid from those canvassing jobs until the installation 100% goes through. So you get big paychecks at the end of the month if you get sales, but that job's for people that already have money that just need to make money on the side. So Sunday, I went to the chill room of Pinellas Park, which is my favorite kava bar, and I watched the NFL, and it was a great day. And once the NFL was over with around 6:30, I went home, and then I was hanging out with my cat, and all of a sudden, I hear this knocking on my door, and I thought maybe it was somebody from, let's say, my apartment, or maybe a hot-ass girl ready to hook up. I'm just kidding. And it's this kid who looks like he's 22, 23. So he's a grown-ass man, but compared to my 31-year-old self, he appeared to be a kid. And he goes, hey, do you know what internet you have and what speed it's at? Like the first thing he says. And I go, are you from Frontier? Well, I just said it. And he goes, yeah. And I go, hey, man, I'm not the one to talk to. My neighbors next door would be the one to talk to, even though that apartment's empty. So I closed the door on him after saying, have a good day, and he walks away all sheepishly, and I could tell I kind of knocked the wind out of him. I felt bad. It's like, bro, those are not the jobs to do. And then I really had kind of an epiphany. I kind of had an aha moment that the way I used to feel when I got denied door to door is the way that I made that kid feel. And I sort of felt bad. Like, I'm not going to switch the frontier. I meant schmontier. But at the same time, it was like, I remember walking away like, oh, that person's kind of mad that I went to the door. So I felt bad. Let me take a quick sip of this cava from the chill room of Pinellas Park. I'm recording this show a lot earlier in the day. Usually I record around 3 or 4 in the afternoon. Right now, it's 12:56 p.m. This is like morning for me. I just got up an hour and a half ago. So be nice to me. But I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I saw myself within that kid. And I was like, hey, man, keep grinding. By the way, has anybody else found this NFL season to be a little bit boring? Not be that exciting? Maybe it's because my Chicago Bears have that punk known as Caleb Williams, who I promise you will never be good. Now, I did sports talk radio for about 9 months, and I was pretty good at it. I just wasn't good at it, if that makes sense. Like, I was good at all the technical skills and whatever the hell they needed from me, but knowing, like, an ERA, earn run average, and all that baseball stuff, but I'm still able to watch sports and know what the hell's going on. I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls out there, for as long as I live, for at least the next, hopefully 70 years, the Chicago Bears will never be good. Also, it kind of feels like that Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs are the new Patriots. Doesn't it? I love this music. But you know what else comes with the NFL season being in full force? First, let me let this music end. This music just pumps me up. I will get to in a second what's happening when the NFL comes back. But this music right here, oh yeah. Oh, sure. Got it. Oh, yeah. The days are getting shorter. Here in the East Coast, where I reside in beautiful St. Petersburg, Florida, I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that there were times that the sun was going down around 8:50 in the prime of that hot-ass summer. Oh, but all the conservatives say there's no global warming, even though every summer is more unbearable. And my family is like, well, if you hate the hot weather so much, why do you live in Florida? I'm like, because I don't want to live in the Midwest. Because I don't know if you can tell by my Midwest accent, but I'm not from Florida. Even though I got a little bit of a Florida voice with the way I go, I got that from my Celta. But I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, there's that epiphany you have where all of a sudden you're like, oh my goodness, it's 8:30 p.m. already. And you're like, no, it's 7. It's that sad epiphany when the days get shorter. But then that means it'll cool off in Florida, and it'll be negative 10 degrees in Cleveland, and everybody during the winter and spring will come to Florida, and we'll see all the Ohio and all the Virginia and Michigan and Illinois license plates. And all the Floridians will claim they're the reason, the transplants are the reason why there's bad traffic. And all the transplants will claim that Florida doesn't know how to drive. And frankly, it's everybody's fault. Nobody's in the clear here. So Saturday, I worked 11 hours for the Feria Telemundo 44 event, Hispanic Heritage Day, at the Florida Fairgrounds, the amphitheater right near Plant City. I've seen a lot of good concerts there. And there's an event hall. And let me tell you, I was working for Maxima 92.5, even though some podcasters, which I'll get to in a second, they always say that I don't work in radio, even though I literally work in radio and I'm in 7 cities, but I'm not in radio. We'll get to that in a second. I absolutely, positively love being at a Hispanic event. All the women are beautiful as hell. All the news anchors are so well dressed, and it was a good time. But the thing that comes with working 11 hours is I had that manly moment, because I'm such a man, where I went, oh my God, I need a steak dinner. So your boy went on a date with his girl that he's going to keep anonymous, because I've learned what happens whenever you're dating a girl, whenever you make her kind of a local celebrity. I know how that just crashes and burns. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, speaking of that, I was at the event on Saturday, and let me tell you, a listener of the former radio station I worked at, I think you can guess which one it was. He goes, dude, yo, what you been up to? I'm like, oh, I'm syndicated in 7 cities, working at Beasley Media Group, blah, 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 working for the MJ Morning Show occasionally. He goes, did you hear what they said about your ex on air? I'm like, no. It's going on 2 years, whatever. And he's like, they called her a crazy bitch. And I'm like, oh, man. There's that country music song where they said nobody wins in a breakup, like both sides loses. And I was like, yeah. That's why for as long as I'm alive, I barely show my face on social media, but I also will never show the girl I'm dating, because I want them to be with Ryan Hoppe for his good looks and that riveting personality. Whenever you meet a girl through the radio, it's pretty much a car crash. All right. I just felt like playing a sound effect there. Because of this new podcasting board I have, I never play sound effects. Speaking of car noises, I had this realization, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the gallery, that I don't know a thing about cars. So my bumper, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my bumper is a little bit wobbly. It's not really falling off. But I was talking to one of my friends, and I was like, hey, do you know anybody that fixes bumpers? And he's like, you don't know about cars? All you got to do is do this and this and this. And I thought about all the times that my dad was working on the car back 20 years ago. And I was trying to learn from it. I was trying to get experience on cars, and I never, ever got it. And it makes me, even though I got that steak dinner, so I felt like kind of a man, it makes me feel so unmanly when I know absolutely, positively nothing about cars. I never leave that situation going, oh, that makes me feel so good. Also on Hoppe Hour, I live in a very liberal city known as St. Petersburg, Florida. And what comes with liberal cities is women that believe in astrology and horoscopes. Now, I read my astrology app every day, and I read my horoscope every day, but I don't put too much into it. I just kind of am curious about what the nonsense says. But I've noticed this trend recently, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the gallery, that there are Gen Z girls and younger millennial girls. That would be zillennial. I know a lot about demographics working in radio. If a girl tells you, oh my God, I'm a Scorpio and you're a Virgo, we totally can't date. Or, oh my God, you're a Capricorn and I'm a Scorpio, we can totally date. She doesn't have the guts to tell you that she's not into you or whoever she's talking about, so she's using astrology as a cop-out. It's just something I've noticed, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the gallery. All right. So I've been listening to the radio for, let's say, a quarter century. I always had the radio on in my house. I didn't have TV during 9/11. So I got all my info through the radio. And I became a fan of Eddie and Jobo, Mancow's Morning Madhouse, Jonathan Brandmeier, Opie and Anthony, Howard Stern, Don Imus, the T-Man Show out of Seattle when I heard them in San Francisco, JV and Elvis, all these shows. And all the shows had that moment where there was a radio war, where there was a moment that everybody was hanging out, having a good time, and then there was a show that they would either talk smack about or the show would talk smack about them, and they would get into a war. I was a part of the Mike Calta versus Bubba the Love Sponge war. That war, you never knew what was going to happen. You had all of Bubba's interns taking pictures of the promotions team in 2015. Like my first day working at the Bone, I had to go to the bathroom, and I left the tent unattended. And Tuttle from the Bubba the Love Sponge show took a picture of the tent and said, "Oh, looks like nobody cares about the promotions team over at Cox Media." And guess who got in trouble with that war? That radio war. Me. And now Tuttle's all, sober and doing well. But for a minute there, I couldn't stand Tuttle. But that was a very good trolling job. You know why that was a good trolling job? Because Bubba the Love Sponge had to earn his spot in radio. Mike Calta had to earn his spot in radio. The other show I worked for, Rover's Morning Glory, they had to earn their spot in radio. I've had to go through job interview after job interview for jobs. And yeah, you could say radio's dying, but you had to be selected to join, the squad. And we have this going on.
It's time for Hoppe's Inbox, only on Hoppe Hour with Ryan Hoppe.
So, about 3 weeks ago, I interviewed Chad Zumock, the very polarizing Chad Zumock. Some may know Chad from the very lame Alan Cox show out of Cleveland, that punk-ass bitch known as Alan Cox. He's so awful at radio, he makes Rover's Morning Glory look like a Marconi Award-winning show. I'm not complaining about that little bitch. Some people may know Chad Zumock from all the wars he gets into with this nonsense known as the Dabbleverse. And I interviewed him 3 weeks ago, and we covered all of the maniacs in the Dabbleverse. And I thought it might ruffle some feathers, but I didn't know it was going to ruffle the feather of the so-called elite show. All right, enough of that music. Of the elite show in the Dabbleverse. So me and Chad, we talked about this show that pretty much rides off the clout of everybody else. There's a show called Who Are These Podcasts? With this guy named Carl Hamburger, I believe is what he calls himself. And he's this IT nerd who's in Rochester, New York, which is the saddest part about it, because I went to the ROC in 2015 for Rover's Morning Glory's Holiday Hangover with Alien Ant Farm at this very haunted theater. And I got very drunk. And you know that city's kind of a dump when it's called the garbage plate. That's their meal. It's like a casserole, and it's called the garbage plate. Like Chicago's got deep dish pizza, Florida's got sex trafficking, and hey, Rochester, New York, they got the garbage plate. But there is this podcaster that me and Chad talked bad about. And I got a lot of comments. People were like, "Oh, you're so jealous that Carl's got a bigger audience than you." And to me, whenever somebody has to flex about their audience being bigger, that's like saying, "My car's nicer than your 2015 Honda Accord, bitch. I drive a Cybertruck," or whatever. So every day, I Google myself to see what's out there. And I saw this, and I felt very accomplished. I felt alive. So when I interviewed Chad Zumock and I talked about that, Who Are These Podcasts with that guy named Carl, where all they do is talk about other podcasts. So pretty much I found them because I would look up some of my favorite radio shows, Mancow's Morning Madhouse, the Rizzuto Show in St. Louis, And about 5 years ago, this podcast called Who Are These Podcasts would show up on Apple Podcasts. It was brilliant. They would make fun of other podcasts. And like the first 2 years, they had awful microphones and they sounded like trash. And you could totally tell they had no experience in radio and they're just nerds that listened to Opie and Anthony and that knew about the Jocktober segment and wanted to be cool. And I'll give it to Carl. He ended up being friends with Anthony Cumia. He had him on the show. He's a part of that whole online anonymous troll bandwagon of making fun of Opie. And it's utter nonsense. And I know you're listening to me, Carl, right now, because you got nothing else to do. Your whole career is based off of talking about others. And that only works for so long. I mean, look at what happened to Bubba the Love Sponge. That dude was on top of the white trash radio world. And now he's paying to be on the radio. Yeah, he's got some money left over and he's making money online. But all the shows that pat themselves on the back and that are douchebags to everybody always end up floundering over time. And I saw this little poster you guys made where you made a video where you talked about me. And I guess you talked about me on your show on Sunday because I got a lot of friend requests. So first of all, I talked about everybody in the Dabbleverse when I interviewed Chad Zumock because I was looking for publicity. Yeah, I have listeners from when I worked with Rover's Morning Glory. Yeah, I got a lot of listeners in Tampa and people in Chicago that I went to high school with. And unfortunately, I just made fun of Rochester, New York. But because Rover's on there and I was on the radio there, I got listeners there too. It was all jokes. But I'm saying I got listeners everywhere. But now I got the anonymous trolls coming after me. And why are they coming after me? Because of this riveting headline from the ultra creative Carl, who totally didn't make a career off of making fun of others because you were probably brutally made fun of growing up. So it gives you a little power trip for the small penis that you have. Mm-hmm. It says here, I love this. First of all, it says bitter ex-radio loser Ryan Hoppe, which that caption by itself is the stupidest caption I've ever seen. Would I say I'm bitter? I'm a little grumpy at the world. I lost my dad 10 years ago, found him dead in his room. Oh, that was great. A little traumatizing there. Both my cats died in front of me. I'm not doing the pity card thing. And then my other dad, my uncle, died 5 months ago. And we had an argument the last time we talked on the phone. So I'm not the happiest person, but I'm not bitter about my career. But this is what I love about this. It shows some guy named Pat Oates who looks like a boomer that barely knows how to use Zoom. And it shows Carl laughing into the microphone. And you know, their lowly paid producer known as Producer Chris, because they got to go with the radio vibe of having the name of the producer being Producer Chris. Even though there's already a Producer Chris in San Diego. But a radio show or a podcast that copies radio shows doing the tactics from the 90s, I'm not surprised. Carl Hamburger. It says bitter ex-radio loser Ryan Hoppe, which that is the stupidest caption I've ever seen. When you say ex-radio loser, you're saying, he used to be a loser in radio, and now he's not. I know you're trying to say that I'm not in radio, even though I'm employed at Beasley Media Group, and then I was working at Salem Media Group, and then I worked at Beasley, iHeart, and Cox. I've worked in radio for 12 years. I'm currently employed, and I'm not going to go down a lot of times whenever I've heard radio wars and podcasting wars, you'll hear guys like Rover go, yes, I make tons of money. Or Mike Calta, oh yeah, I'm the king of Tampa Bay radio. He doesn't really say that, but he's got that attitude. I'm not going to go down my accomplishments, but I will tell you that that's the stupidest caption I've ever heard, but I wouldn't expect anything less from a bunch of copycats. When you're saying ex-radio loser, you're saying, back in the day when he worked for Rover or he worked for Calta, he was a loser, but now he's not. And now he's got a great radio show, and we love listening to it because we talked about it on his podcast. Guys, this is the only time I'm going to talk about you because I got about 20 windows open of prep that I need to get to. But I just want to say, yeah, you guys are making probably decent money off of talking about others. But that's only going to go as far as it can. Because at some time, all the anonymous trolls that are your listeners, because I was getting comments from like XYZ123 usernames, not real profiles. You never get a mean comment from somebody with a legitimate profile. It's always a loser. All of them are going to turn on you at some point. Same thing happened to Opie and Anthony. And if you guys are trying so hard to be like Opie and Anthony, at some point, everybody that's ever listened to your show will hate you, and you will hate anybody that's ever worked on your show or listened to your show. And that's because you don't have a creative bone in your body. Again, that should be my next billboard. X radio loser. And the last part, in this picture, you use as like the thumbnail for the video. It says bitter X radio loser Ryan Hoppe. You use the picture of when I won Best Local Podcast a few years ago in Tampa Bay. So obviously I'm not a loser. It was just a slow news day for you. You got tired of talking about Stuttering John and Shuley and all the nerds. And you're like, oh, this is a new toy syndrome. Because I've been down this road, bro. I've dealt with the Rover's Morning Glory listeners attacking you all the time. I've dealt with being recognized in public all the time for working at the Bone. I've gone to bat. I've gone to battle with Bubba the Love Sponge. And I'm telling you, they all were legitimate people that had to earn their jobs. And I got one comment, a guy's like, oh, you're probably jealous that you're working hard and he's just famous or whatever. That's not the point. The point is, you think you're some big, bad podcaster. But literally, I got about 4 comments from people saying that I suck. And the rest of them seemed like they were legitimately interested. Once you dropped your episode last night, I got about 50 friend requests on Facebook. So, Carl, this was all a part of a ploy to get free attention from your audience, and you fell for it. Like, I've been to war once I left Rover's show with Rover's Morning Glory, and Rover will talk about me, but he'll never respond to what I do. Even Kelda doesn't really respond to what I do. But you fell for my tactic. I was looking for free publicity, and you gave it to me. So the next time you feel really good about yourself, and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm so talented. Just remember that you got schooled by Ryan Hoppe, you little bitch.
Happy Hour. Happy Hour.
It's time for Hoppe in the morning.
RyanHoppeRadio.com.
Happy Hour will be right back.
Whenever we're going outside, all I smell is poop.
As a reminder, if you don't feel like listening to this next song, you can skip over it. But Ryan Hoppe of Happy Hour takes pride in his selection, so stick around, folks.
I'll kick you in the nuts, and we'll call it a day.
Kill it with the beat.
Break it down like this. Break it down like you gon' break it down like break it down like
I'm like, hold up, know what now? Millions in the folder, I show ya how. It's a soldier, I'm calling how. Got spinning over, lower. Getting more bucks, dipping in the Porsche force. Got my head tripping in this Porsche truck, and I'm ski spitting. Talk thus, I'm a star, she ain't trying to get abortions. I'm fresh, falling to the death. 3-point range, following my steps. Lear, plane, calling from a jet. I could go from Rome to Guatemala in a sec. I spent 100 on the wrist, another 100 on the chain. I'm so fresh, money ain't a thing. No, he ain't your main, but one up in the same. And the sun up in the blame, make it sunny in the rain.
My house is everything that comes out my mouth is ReGOUGIE. ReGOUGIE. And my charm is, my chain is, necklace, my watch and my rings is ReGOUGIE.
My flow so fresh like hot bread, and from a slice of the lo-fi break fast. And if I want it that bad, I'll take that. A few people from a path gon' hate that, ain't that true? Big Dame and that's cool. DJ DJ Smooth Killer, what you won't do? See, I'm the rude boy of the big dollar. Spit shiny track, my flow and polish. Hydro, I got it. Blow old the chronic, blow holes through the suckers that know who ever supposed to even take their too. Running their whole crew, make them work the stroll too. You see, you will lay with her, I just play with her. Give me an hour, homie, you can spend the day with her. You take a shop and spend your money just to stay with her. She on the knees, homie, I ain't about to pray with her.
My car is, my house is, everything that come out my mouth is. We D-O-U-G-I-E, we D-O-U-G-I-E. And my charm is, my chain is, necklace, my watch and my rings is. We D-O-U-G-I-E, we D-O-U-G-I-E.
$2 million, $3 million, $4 million, $5 million, $6 million, $7 million.
Now you can see me in the hoopty, a beamer, either riding in the road with diamonds just shining off her clothes. Blood grinding, know we balancing the mold with a fly hole. It's all about the dough, you know. We getting paper, 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 we getting paper.
I think they were getting paper. Isn't that what they said? We're getting paper. We're getting paper.
Hoppe Hour will be right back.
And we're also pissing off Copycat Podcasts. And that's the last you'll ever hear me talking about something called Who Are These Podcasts? Because frankly, no one knows who you are. This following segment has been brought to you by the best kava and kratom around. If you go to mitra-9.com and at checkout you use keyword Hoppe, H-O-P-P-E, you can save 20%. By the way, a lot of times people will pimp out their products that they promote, their sponsors on their podcast or radio show, but they don't actually endorse it. I actually have a can of Mitra 9 Kava right next to me. If you are drinking it as well, I'll take a picture of it. But here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hoppe Hour. Hoppe Hour.
Now, something completely different.
It's time for Hoppe in the morning.
Did you know that Ryan Hoppe got a vasectomy? Well, now you know, and we aren't even sure why we told you. Welcome back to Hoppe Hour.
What everyone else is afraid to say, Ryan Hoppe will say for you. Welcome back to Hoppe Hour.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
Ryan's tall like the sky, 6'9" he's fly. From Chicago to the Bay, in St. Pete he'll stay. Talk of love and fame, dating life's his game. News all stars he spills, with laughter fills. Hoppe Hour, all you need. Rich and Ely, take a seat. Ryan's got the groove. Hoppe Hour makes you move.
My favorite part.
A cat by his side. Meow. In Florida they reside.
856-49 Hoppe. That's 856-494-6773. You can tweet at me at Ryan Hoppe Radio, and you can always email me, RyanHoppeRadio@gmail.com. Let's get back to the content.
Hoppe Hour in your souls. Hoppe Hour, all you need. Rich and Ely, take a seat.
I saw this headline here, and I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it cracked me up.
This fall, Gen Z and millennial shoppers are on the hunt for deals.
Yeah, because we're not making an insane amount of money. We're not spending $120 on a pillow like the boomers did in the 80s.
Finding them at popular discount stores.
Oh my gosh, I need it all.
From TJ Maxx and Marshalls to Ross and Burlington.
I love Burlington because they're the only ones that have size 18 shoes.
These are not your grandparents' big box bargains.
Yeah.
Once you go, you become like obsessed because it's just like addicting.
If you go to any store like Marshalls, Burlington, Target with the deals, even though Target doesn't really have deals, that is the perfect place to see beautiful girls. Mm-hmm. The only thing is now that a lot of bad fathers are letting their 15-year-old daughters go out in public, you got to check ID because some of them look grown up and you're like, oh no.
After years of high inflation hurting consumers' wallets.
This is our budget. It's not a whole lot, so let's keep it on the low side.
A report from the Bank of America Institute found that spending on value apparel is higher for younger customers compared to older age group.
Yeah. The older age group is very much like, we got to have the nicest things. Like I remember I was getting my taxes done about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. And I had a fake watch that I got from Burlington. And everybody my age would be like, oh, that's a nice watch. And I'd be like, oh, it's fake. And they're like, oh, you shouldn't say that or whatever. Or they would just laugh about it. Well, this boomer was like, why are you wearing a fake watch? You got to get a Rolex. Like, sorry, I wasn't born in 1949.
I think they're out there in the world and seeing how expensive things are. Prices are coming down now, but these two generations in particular have grown up with this. They have lived this and they are experiencing it every day.
The share of value spending has increased 4 percentage points for both Gen Z and millennials in the last year.
I would predict it's even more than 4%, but hey, I'll leave it to the news clip.
Far outpacing older generations. 24-year-old Bethany Brooks says stores like TJ Maxx and Marshalls, which offer big discounts on sought-after name brands, allow her to build her dream wardrobe on a budget.
It's just really exciting when you get a cute t-shirt for $10 that's like $100 normally.
Yeah, it's kind of a big idea. It's kind of a big deal. Not idea. I'm not sure why I said that. I love when you go to Marshalls and you get a lot of clothes and you're like, man, if I would have gone anywhere else, Macy's, this would have been $500.
With inflation and just the cost of living itself, like I can't remember the last time I spent full price on anything.
There's no reason to. Even if you're a millennial making 6 figures or high 5 figures, why would you want to spend all that money on clothes? Mm-hmm.
According to Bank of America's research, spending on value apparel overall increased 13% this July compared to July 2019, growing faster than overall retail spending. And it's a trend that may be here to stay, even as inflation cools and prices come back down.
Between shopping at discount retailers that have cool merchandise and thrifting, you can have a great wardrobe at a very low cost. And so I expect this to continue for years to come.
I don't think I could ever stop shopping here. Even if I got a raise or started making more money, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing and just saving more instead of spending more.
I love that the kids have discovered these stores.
I love how they call us kids. It's like we're a bunch of 30-year-olds trying to get by. That's how you know a boomer doesn't know reality. It's like, think about it. I see all those memes where it's like millennials at age 30 and it's like some kid who looks like he's 24. And then it's like boomers at age 30 and it's like George Costanza on Seinfeld. We're not kids anymore. These kids. I mean, I know in the beginning part of the show, I called that canvasser for Frontier Communications. I know I called him a kid, but maybe I am a little bit of a hypocrite. There is one comedian out there that I've never, ever found funny. And that's being John Mulaney. Maybe it's because every basic white girl that's ever existed loves John Mulaney. He can do no wrong. But I see right through his BS. I look at John Mulaney and I go, you, sir, are an asswipe. The whole relationship with Olivia Munn. Yeah, he totally didn't cheat on his wife with her. He waited until they were officially broken up.
Happy Hot Topic!
Here we go. Let's find out about John Mulaney.
This morning, Olivia Munn and John Mulaney sharing a sweet surprise. The couple announcing their daughter, May June Mulaney, was born on September 14th, coming into the world through a gestational surrogate. Munn opening up on Instagram that she had so many profound emotions about not being able to carry my daughter, but says that when she first met her surrogate, we spoke mother to mother. She showed me so much grace and understanding.
She's like, yeah, you shouldn't cheat.
Adding, I knew I had found a real-life angel. The happy news coming after the pair tied the knot in a New York ceremony earlier this summer.
I got married. Thank you.
Whenever John Mulaney needs a kiss-ass interview, he goes on Seth Meyers.
Thanks a lot. It's very exciting. It's the best.
I don't know who's more pretentious, Seth Meyers or Jimmy Fallon. At least Seth Meyers doesn't laugh at his own jokes.
Intimate wedding was officiated by Law & Order legend Sam Waterston, who starred alongside Olivia in HBO's The Newsroom nearly a decade ago.
Nearly a decade ago? That was like more than a decade ago. A decade. I hate when I'm so literal because I know everything about TV shows, but that was like 15 years ago.
Because you're a nerd and I'm a nerd and you make nerds look bad.
No, I make nerds look good. The TV
Yeah, that's why you're dating John Mulaney.
star recently revealing some difficult details about her serious battle with breast cancer, telling Vogue in May, I took out my uterus, fallopian tubes, and ovaries.
Sounds like a lot.
It was the 44-year-old's fifth surgery since the diagnosis last year, after previously undergoing procedures like a double mastectomy and a hysterectomy.
Got it.
Despite the procedures, the actress expressed to Vogue her desire to grow her family with Mulaney, saying she froze her eggs prior to the fifth surgery. When the couple learned they had 2 healthy embryos, she says, John and I just started crying.
I'm just so grateful that I get to be here, and I'm so grateful that I was given the opportunity to fight this thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Yeah. Because I know a lot of people are in my position who don't get that chance and don't make it through.
After a few scary months, the couple is now celebrating the arrival of their healthy and happy daughter, calling their little plum a dream come true.
John Mulaney was such an asswipe back in the day that I think being a father maybe changed him. He might be the one example where being with the side chick was actually better.
Munn and Mulaney have been together since 2021 and are already parents to their 2-year-old son, Malcolm. A huge congratulations to...
All right, kiss his ass a little more. 856-49-HOPPE. Speaking of someone that's having a hard time having kids.
Happy Hot Topic!
I found this headline to be utterly bizarre.
Selena Gomez is clapping back at critics after she recently publicly revealed she can't carry children due to her battle with lupus.
Every celebrity news site uses the word clapback. There's also one in a Lizzo video coming up.
At the Women in Film dinner in Beverly Hills on September 19th, the Only Murders in the Building actress says that her health struggles are, quote, not shameful, and spoke to the power in being honest with the...
She has no confidence in herself. No human being, no body's perfect. If anybody out there, I was going to say there's nobody out there that's doing this, but I'm sure there are people that are doing this. If anybody's shaming her for not having kids, you're an imbecile. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really matter.
Public about her reality. And
it doesn't really impact your life.
Clip shared on X, formerly Twitter, the singer tells the...
All right, you can stop. The celebrity news reporters need to stop going X, formerly known as Twitter. We get it. We know now.
Audience, quote, so yeah, I shared that I can't carry a child. Yeah, I shared I have bipolar. Off. That's what my life is. That's who I am.
She is the most bipolar girl I've ever, never, not met, but been a fan of. You know why? Because I'm bipolar. And when you're bipolar, you can sense that a mile away.
Wizards of Waverly Place star, who's seated next to her 11-year-old sister, Gracie Elliott Teefy, at the event, shares that she hopes to be an inspiration to women of all ages. She continues, quote, I truly want to be an advocate for women, and that's why I share. That's why I like to be honest, because everybody's going through something.
Thank you. I'm glad you reminded us. Without Selena Gomez telling us that you're going through something, we wouldn't know.
I don't have it all put together. I'm not whatever. I'm me.
She needs to just go off the grid. She makes all these statements about nothing.
So do not ever let anyone tell you that you're not a good person, that you aren't kind, that you won't treat people with respect. because that is not lame. That is so cool of you guys. So screw anyone who tells you you're a victim. You're a survivor in my book.
Oh, thanks, babe.
Singer and actress who is dating Benny Blanco candidly told Vanity Fair in the October issue about her inability to carry children.
You know how, like, you see some celebrity couples, Will Smith and Jada, and you can totally tell that they cheat on each other all the time? You look at Benny Blanco and you're like, there's no way in hell that guy is cheating.
While battling lupus, and explained that she's accepted her reality and is excited to become a mother one day. She says in the interview, quote, "It's not necessarily the way I envisioned it. I thought it would happen the way it happens for everyone. I'm in a much better place with that. I find it a blessing that there are wonderful people willing to do surrogacy or adoption, which are both huge possibilities for me."
Oh, that's good. Just call Olivia Munn and get advice on how to be a mother. Maybe not being a girlfriend or wife, because then you'll just end up cheating. So definitely don't ask her for advice on that.
Happy Hour. Happy Hour.
It's time for Hoppe in the morning.
RyanHoppeRadio.com.
Hour will be right back. Happy Hour will be right back.
Whenever we're going outside, all I smell is poop.
I'll kick you in the nuts and we'll call it a day.
As a reminder, if you don't feel like listening to this next song, you can skip over it. But Ryan Hoppe of Hoppe Hour takes pride in his selection, so stick around, folks.
Turn me up a little bit. When that music comes in, it gets loud.
Swizzy.
Yes. This is a You Heard That New World premiere.
Hands up, high up, hands up, hands up, hands up, high up.
Be very different now.
Swizzy. Hands up, hands up, hands up, high up, hands up, hands up, hands up, high up.
I need everybody put your hands up, wave them outside right quick for me.
Slow down, hope you're killing them, killing them.
You would think I was on roids. I've been hitting so long, and I'm a big-headed boy. Nah, we ain't on HGH, though I might pick up some weight when I'm running through your state. Nah, we ain't on the clear, we on the runway in back-to-back legs. This miss no more drama, and Barack Obama rhymes feel honest. I put my life on these tracks, you act like y'all wanna
Damn, low, where you get this?
Luckily my therapy is the rap. I just bare my soul, I don't expect nothing back. You all welcome, long as you felt I was gon' get mine. You know where the hell I'm from. I'm from the bottom, so I do this from the diapers. Quick, fast, turn the Big Apple into cider. I do this, I'm a writer and a writer. I spew it cause I'm nicer, but I do this for the lifers. I'm a writer and a writer. I spew it cause I'm nicer, but I do it for the lifers. You welcome. Everybody get your hands up, hands up, hands up, hands up higher.
Only at YouHeardThatNew.com.
You probably never see again somebody so deadly via the pen. Viva Jovito Padino, muy bien. Big up to Biggie and Pac, I do it for them. Until I reach Khalik, I do it for him. Do it for those who can't do for self, due to the pen. May these bars reach through your bar. And mine, when Mary sing, it heals your heart. Cause solely stands feel you are. Love is a battlefield, we all get scars. I put my heart into this. This is much more than marketed music. The reason I gotta market to do this is people going through pain. I'm just walking.
Damn, Loki, where the hell you find this one?
This ain't no marketed music. People going through pain. I'm just talking to do it. Welcome. Everybody get your hands up. hopping out of vans. I ain't only teach you about Evisu. I taught you how to fish and not let other niggas feed you.
For all of y'all, keeping y'all in hell, just to see you smile and enjoy yourself. You all are welcome, you all are welcome, you all are welcome.
Everybody say for M, for J, for B, for H, for O, for V, for M, for J, for B, for H, for O, for V.
What's going on?
Knock him out the box. Mary, knock him out the box. Knock him out the box. Ho, knock him out the box. Knock him out the box. Swizzy, knock him out the box. Individual, knock him out the box. Hey, get it up, ho. Get it up, hey. Get it up, ho. Get it up, hey. To the left, ho. To the right, hey. To the left, ho. Good night, good night, good night, good night.
Oh, yeah.
Good night.
Good night. Good night. Good night. Unless you're listening in the morning, then good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
This is a You Heard That New World Premiere.
That's how you know that song is old, when they have the newworldpremiere.com.
For the hottest hip hop and R&B tracks, hit up trackfiends.net.
Hell yeah. Trackfiends.net is the place to be.
Hoppe Hour will be right back.
Oh, yeah. This following segment has been brought to you by DZ BZ Honey at dzbzhoney.com. Now, if you're looking for the best Delta 8 CBD honey around, I'm a man of my words when I tell you that they have the best Delta 8 CBD honey around. It comes in honey sticks, lollipops, lick, the lollipop, the wrapper, or a jar of honey. You go to dzbzhoney.com and at checkout use keyword Hoppe, Hoppe, you can save 20%. This is also being brought to you by Fortify.com, Fortifeye.com, for the best pre and post workouts in all the world. When you go to Fortify.com, use keyword Ryan20 to save 20%. We're going to come back on Hoppe Hour and get this party going, because we have so much to get into. Right after this.
Hoppe Hour. Hoppe Hour.
Now, something completely different.
It's time for Hoppe in the morning.
Hey, this is Lex from the Lex and Terry Radio Network, and we are now ready to name our successor. Ryan Hoppe. He is a brilliant, upcoming superstar. Ryan Seacrest. What? Oh, Ryan Hoppe.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. The most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
This is theme to Hoppe Hour. Time to laugh with Ryan's power. Wacky fun and silly jokes. Hoppe Hour loves its folks. Hoppe Hour. Hoppe Hour. With Ryan Hoppe. Yeah, he's the topper. Grab your drinks and join the crew. Crazy stories just for you. Ryan's here to make you grin. Let the Hoppe fun begin. Hoppe Hour. Hoppe Hour. With Ryan Hoppe. Laughs are never sloppy. Got your popcorn.
856-49 Hoppe. It's 856-494-6773. You can tweet at me at Ryan Hoppe Radio, and you can email me. Ryan Hoppe Radio, gmail.com.
The hour's here to stay, making smiles every day. Radio fun around you. Ryan Hoppe's here for you.
Wow! Hoppe Hot Topic!
We have so much to get into. I try to not begin these shows by discussing Diddy, because since everybody else is discussing Diddy, I want to wait. Here is former protege Shine, breaking silence on bombshell indictment.
This is someone who destroyed my life.
Sean Diddy Combs' former protege is breaking his silence on the hip-hop mogul's bombshell sex trafficking indictment. Moses Shine Barrow served 10 years in prison after being convicted in a 1999 New York City club shooting where he, Diddy, and Diddy's then-girlfriend Jennifer Lopez were
Yeah, we need to look into J-Lo hanging out with Diddy.
Partying. Shine was released in 2009 and is now a politician in his native Belize.
Of course, he's a politician.
Where he spoke out on Diddy's legal saga and the prior incident in a recent press conference. Diddy was acquitted of all charges in the shooting, and Shine has alleged that he was the fall guy, claiming to reporters in his newest comments that the artist and entrepreneur, quote, destroyed his life, but he has let go of any ill will.
Yeah, at some point you gotta just let it go. As annoying as it is, and as infuriating as it is when you hold on to it. It's not really ideal.
Let us not lose sight of what the cold hard facts are.
Yeah.
This was not someone who I vacationed with and who he and I enjoyed this great intimate relationship of
Oh yeah, he's saying I didn't give him head.
brotherhood. This is someone who destroyed my life and who I forgave and who I moved on. This is someone that destroyed my life. But do I take any joy or any satisfaction with what he is going through? Absolutely not.
That is a classy guy right there, because a lot of people out there, are really happy. And he's like, no.
I am different than maybe other people. No one needs to fail for me to succeed.
In addition to sex trafficking, Diddy is facing felony charges of racketeering conspiracy and transportation to engage in prostitution. He pleaded not guilty at his arraignment. The 54-year-old is accused of using drugs and violent threats to force people to participate in alleged parties known as freak-offs.
That's the weirdest part, is all the baby oil. No wonder it's hard to find baby oil at Publix. He took all of it.
Which Shine claimed he was never involved in.
I had nothing to do with Sean Combs' personal life, no interaction. That level, everything was strictly on a professional level.
That's how I feel like a lot of people are, because there's like a lot of celebrities that are affiliated with him. And you wonder, which ones are, affiliated with Diddy. And you wonder which ones partied with Diddy. Like, I've worked with scumbags in radio, and they've gotten in trouble, and I've hung out with them, but does that mean I did something? No. It just means you worked for them. And in the 90s, 2000s, and 2010s, there were a lot of scumbags running the media. Here is an interesting clip. This is Diddy on the Conan O'Brien show about 25 years ago.
A killer party. What's the ingredient? What do you do to make just an amazing killer party? Because mine, I put out the Cheese Whiz. I put on the Paula Anka. No one comes. Wrong move.
See, you're doing the wrong things.
Wrong thing. Okay.
This is what you need to do. Women, beautiful women, of course.
Beautiful women.
And some guys I can blow.
Beautiful men for the ladies, of course. We need alcohols.
Right.
Alcohols.
Right. Not just one alcohol.
Alcohols.
Right. Just
Swirls.
different blend. You need
Blends.
the ladies. You need the booze.
You need some water.
For watering plants?
No, I don't know.
It's weird. Everything Diddy says is so flirty.
You guys have noticed this, like, a lot of ladies drink water at parties. They just, so you have, if you don't have what they need, they're going to leave.
Right.
Got to keep them there.
Right.
You need locks on the doors.
Okay, this is sounding kind of dangerous now.
It's a little
Conan's like, yeah, I'm good.
little kinky, but rock with me, but just check it out. You need a lot of heat. A lot of heat. Yeah.
Heat. You mean that physically the place has to be hot?
You don't have no air conditioning.
No air conditioning.
No.
Why is that?
Heat affects the alcohol, and it also affects, like, everybody gets a little bit more comfortable and loose. Builds up a nice little sweat.
Yeah, when I'm at a party or in public or having sex, I don't like sweating. I have hyperhidrosis, so I definitely wouldn't like a Diddy party.
That just sounds disgusting. What are you doing?
I love Conan.
Depends on the way you look at it.
Depends. Oh, people start getting it gets kind of sexy. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you sexy. New word for you.
Yeah.
You need some good music, and you need me, of course.
Yes, you.
Yeah, I'll be there hanging out with a bunch of guys. So here's something I saw. I didn't personally see this because whenever I watch football, I use that time to mute the TV to listen to podcasts of morning radio I like or listen to audiobooks. So I didn't see, even on TV, this Thursday night football rant that Nikki Glazer did. Nikki Glazer was on Thursday Night Football, and she did these jokes.
Show my plastic surgery to New York, where we've got something special right now. You remember her from the roast of Tom Brady. Now she's here on TNF Nightcap to bring you her extra points, offensive lines, takeaways, and everything you missed while watching the actual game. If I didn't love her so much, I'd be terrified. It's Late Hits with Nikki Glazer.
Thank you so much, Carissa. I just have to say it's so nice to finally meet the photo I show my plastic surgeon. But seriously, you are pretty intimidating. You look like the final boss at a country club. But truly, I am so thrilled to be here. I want to be honest, I am pretty new to football. I used to think a 2-minute warning was something a guy gave you 1 minute into sex, but every day I'm learning something new.
Everything about Nikki Glazer is sex.
For instance, today I found out that I look like 49ers tight end George Kittle.
Oh, wow.
No one's laughing. I don't think it's bad, but, you know, these sports analysts, I've worked in the sports media, and let me tell you, if you want to be around a bunch of pretentious, humorless people, be around the sports media.
You can see it. Yeah, I see it. I can see it.
That's exactly how I looked at Burning Man. Now, I know a lot of people are probably expecting me to get up here and just like roast everyone, but this isn't a roast. Like, you guys didn't sign up for this, so I'm definitely not gonna say that Richard Sherman looks like Busta Rhymes on Ozempic. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna say that Andrew Whitworth.
He didn't like that. He needs to relax. He's got that CTE. He's got that anger. I've hung around NFL players. They go from 0 to 100 real quick.
You can see it. Yeah, I see it. I can see it.
That's exactly how I looked at Burning Man. Now, I know a lot of people are probably expecting me to get up here and just like roast everyone, but this isn't a roast. Like, you guys didn't sign up for this, so I'm definitely not gonna say that Richard Sherman looks like Busta Rhymes on Ozempic. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna say that Andrew Whitworth. I'm not gonna say that Andrew Whitworth looks like Men's Warehouse Shrek, or
I like that one.
or that Tony Gonzalez looks like who my mom thinks about during one of her long baths.
She's got to be naughty and sexual, because that's Nikki Glazer. She had a whole show called You Up.
Tony, I do like your vibe, though. You look like a genie you can only summon by rubbing the crotch of a sensible Talbot's pantsuit.
All right. It's just everything sexual. She's like a funnier version of Amy Schumer, because she's actually good looking.
But I'm not going to say any of that, because really I am so honored to be...
All right, whatever. Yeah, as Howard Stern would say, it's a little bit of a stumble. Also, this next headline is a little bit of a stumble by RFK.
Whoa! Happy Hot Topic!
And if I'm Cheryl Hines, I am getting the hell away from him.
Journalist Olivia Nuzzi has been placed on leave after an alleged relationship with Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Whoa, a politician cheating? No, it never happens.
The star political journalist, who has been the Washington correspondent for New York Magazine since 2017.
She just has that side chick look. Like, you know when you see somebody out and about and you're like, you're so a side chick.
Was recently placed on leave for disclosing an alleged relationship with a former independent 2024 presidential candidate. Though Olivia didn't identify the politician by name, NBC News, citing the New York Times and CNN, reported to be RFK Jr., who was married to actress Cheryl Hines.
How the hell could you cheat on my girl known as Cheryl Hines? I am such a Cheryl Hines fan. I thought she was good on that show that deserved a chance called Son of Zorn, where it was a part cartoon like He-Man, part humans. And then you tell me that RFK is going to cheat on her. That shows how different I am than everybody else. Everybody else goes, oh, she was beautiful in Curb Your Enthusiasm. No, I liked Son of Zorn in 2016.
While Olivia was engaged to Politico's chief Washington correspondent, Ryan Lizza.
He looks like such a beta male. Mm-hmm.
September 19th statement by New York Magazine reads, Olivia Nuzzi acknowledged to the magazine's editors that she had engaged in a personal relationship with a former subject relevant to the 2024 campaign while she was reporting on the campaign.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was like, hey, I'm really handsome. You want to have sex?
Violation of the magazine's standards around conflicts of interest and disclosures. The outlet notes that an internal review of the work produced by the 31-year-old throughout the 2024 presidential campaign thus far had found, quote, no inaccuracies nor evidence of bias. And the statement concluded, she is currently on leave from the magazine, and the magazine is conducting a more thorough third-party review. We regret this violation of our readers' trust.
Yeah, it's kind of a big deal. Also, you lose your marriage and you lose your job over Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Not the best decision-making ever.
Olivia later shared a statement of her own regarding the relationship to several publications, including the New York Times. She says in the message, some communication between myself and a former reporting subject turned personal. The relationship was never physical, but should have been disclosed to prevent the appearance of a conflict.
It was never physical because when he's banging you from behind, he's barely putting in any effort and you're a dead fish.
I deeply regret not doing so immediately and apologize to those I've disappointed,
Especially who?
My colleagues at New York.
What about your husband? Anybody else can get a job, but when you lie to your husband, that's kind of a big deal.
Neither the journalist nor the publication have publicly addressed whether the subject was, in fact, RFK Jr., but sources familiar with the matter confirmed as such to CNN, the New York Times, and Status, a political...
I never liked RFK. I found anybody that liked him to be a contrarian and to be obnoxious.
Newsletter by Oliver Darcy, who was the first to break the news. Regarding the allegations, a rep for 70-year-old Robert F. Kennedy Jr. responded with a statement, noting a profile the reporter had produced in November 2023.
Yeah, she just looks like such a side chick.
The statement to the New York Times declares Mr. Kennedy only met Olivia Nuzzi once in his life for an interview she requested, which yielded a hit piece.
Hell yeah.
In the profile, Nuzzi wrote of going for a hike with RFK Jr. in late October of 2023, during which the pair discussed his leaving of the Democratic Party to run for the 2024 presidential campaign independently.
Yeah, that really worked out for you, didn't it, RFK?
RFK Jr. famously dropped out of the race in August.
Whatever. Also going on in the world of politics. Whoa!
Happy Hot Topic!
The two most nauseating women out there.
Kamala Harris is reacting to receiving Taylor Swift's endorsement for president.
I like calling her Kamala. I know that's not how you say it, but that's how I'm going to call her.
The vice president and 2024 Democratic presidential nominee sat down with Wired's autocomplete interview where she answered her most searched for questions on Google.
Yeah, the ones that were really searched probably were not discussed, like, did you sleep your way to the top?
One question brought up the global superstar, leading Harris to say she's very proud to have her support, before revealing one thing they've disagreed on.
Kamala Harris, Taylor Swift. I am very proud to have the support of Taylor Swift. She's an incredible artist. I really respect the courage that she has had in her career to stand up for what she believes is right.
That's right, is to always rip into men because the breakups are never my fault. And I can relate to that because I ruined marriages. I'm Kamala Harris.
Right? But we were on different sides of the Super Bowl last year.
I'm Kamala. And everything I do, I talk like this.
God, she's the worst.
I am a 49ers fan.
I am, because I was in San Francisco when I was sleeping with the mayor and he gave me all the perks.
But who's mad at anyone for being loyal to their team, right? So there you go.
I'm surprised she didn't laugh at the end of that.
Loyal to their team. I'm sure I didn't talk about Willie Brown at all.
The pop star's boyfriend, Travis Kelce, plays for the Kansas City Chiefs.
All right, we already know that. Also in the world of politics, the thing that you ain't hearing any conservatives talk about.
Happy hot topic!
Is Trump's relationship with Diddy.
I love Diddy. You know, he's a good friend of mine. He's a good guy.
Donald Trump's past comments about Sean Diddy Combs are getting new attention.
Yeah, that needs to be looked into. Twitter pretty much now is a conservative field of content because of Elon Musk's autistic ass running Twitter. I'm going to tell you, though, none of the people on the right are talking about this.
A clip of the former president praising the hip-hop mogul on a 2012 episode of The Celebrity Apprentice has resurfaced in the wake of Diddy's bombshell arrest and indictment on sex trafficking charges. Season 5 contestant Aubrey O'Day touted her time working with Diddy in the 2000s girl group Danity Kane.
Danity Kane. Yeah, he was bad to them. They're damaged. That was one of their songs.
As having prepared her for the business world, prompting Trump to defend the artist and entrepreneur when Aubrey didn't want to discuss the matter further.
I am a very strict and focused businesswoman because working for Diddy for 6 years trained me to have to be perfect.
Working for Diddy?
Absolutely.
I love Diddy. You know, he's a good friend of mine. He's a good guy.
He expects.
Is he a good guy?
I don't want to answer that
Oh,
question.
wow. I think he's a good guy. I'm going to stick up for him.
Yeah, you're not going to hear any of the right-wing nutjob talk show hosts talk about that.
Trump and wife Melania have been photographed with Diddy at multiple high-profile events over the years. Diddy previously complimented Trump in a 2015 interview with the Washington Post amid the politician's first presidential bid, saying at the time, "Donald Trump is a friend of mine and he works very hard."
Yeah, he was really freaking offs at my freak-offs.
Trump has yet to speak out on Diddy's latest legal troubles, but Aubrey did take to social media with an emotional reaction to his September 16th arrest and noted how she hopes the situation marks a long-awaited turning point, writing, "The purpose of justice is to provide an ending and allow us the space to create a new chapter. Women never get this. I feel validated. Today is a win for women all over the world, not just me. Things are finally changing." The pop singer has previously alleged that Diddy dropped her from Danity Kane after she refused to participate in activities she claimed were outside her professional obligations. And she spoke
Yeah, you want to go to a freak-off?
about her allegations in a 2022 interview with Call Her Daddy's Alex Cooper.
Watching it as a viewer, I always was like, oh, Diddy is like so obsessed with Aubrey.
I just want you to look good.
If you're not happy, you hate me, then why you have me here?
I don't have to have you here. That's one thing that we can make clear. That's one
What we make clear is that about in 15 years, I'm going to be squared.
thing we can make clear.
What happened to Danity Kane? Why did the band break up?
I wasn't willing to do what was expected of me, not talent-wise, but in other areas. At the very end, he fired me.
Diddy pleaded not guilty at his arraignment in New York City and was denied bail.
Yeah, that was a pretty big deal. I love how he even thought they were going to give him bail. Like, why the hell would you let Diddy be free? He would just leave this country. It's funny how, like, Shine was all classy and was like, I don't wish ill will on Diddy. And then you have Aubrey who's like, no, you'll never hear me say a positive thing about him. All right, let's talk about some good news.
Friends, tomorrow marks 30 years since the very first episode premiered. Pretty quickly it became clear the show was going to be a hit. This week, I sat down with the creators, David Crane, Marta Kaufman, and Kevin Bright, to talk about the legacy of Friends.
What was it like for you to see America fall in love with your show and
the one that had no black people?
Your characters.
I don't know that we experienced that as we were doing it. I mean, things would happen like I was wearing a Friends cap and some random stranger came up to me and said, please tell me what's going to happen with Ross and Rachel. I promise I won't tell anyone. That was actually the kind of stuff that made it real more than this sort of overarching feeling like a...
Yeah, you know, she had to wear the Friends hat because she wanted to be recognized in public. You know, she wanted that.
America was in love with Friends.
30 years later, we still are. Favorite Friends moment, anyone?
Smelly.
All right, I don't need your approval. 856-49-HOPPY. You know that being married to Katy Perry must be so insufferable.
Happy hot topic!
While being married to me would be a delight.
It's about who you are in those really challenging moments.
It's work.
And I get to see who he is in those challenging moments, and it's why I chose him.
Katy Perry is sharing how she and Orlando Bloom navigate arguments.
Yeah, arguing with Katy Perry has to be obnoxious.
The pop superstar, who got engaged to the actor in 2019, recently shares what really happens when she and the Pirates of the Caribbean star disagree at home.
Yeah, he stands his ground.
Katy says this to Zane Lowe during an interview with Apple Music on September 19th.
And Orlando and I, when we argue kind of hot and fast and then cool really quickly.
Oh my God, it's so funny. It's me and my wife are the same.
Yeah. I love you. All right, let's move on. But it's very like Caps doing quick like.
I think
she's really had to do this like interview circuit. She was on Color Daddy. She was on Who Are These Podcasts? I'm just kidding. And then she's on this show.
I think the way that we're described by other families is they're a loud family.
Yeah,
I think we're a loud family.
Yes, we are a loud family. We call ourselves the Chaos Crew.
Can you imagine her in the bedroom?
I'm sure that's
how we justify, right? Listen, we laugh loud, we love loud, we fight loud. We're just a loud family.
We are fire.
Oh, God, I can only imagine it gets old after a while.
For what Katy and Orlando, who have been together since 2016, have disagreements over, Katy says this.
I've only ever met your other half very briefly, but he's got lovely energy about him.
He does. He's a real sage.
Yeah.
Real sage.
When he's, we both have parts of ourselves. Like, there's two parts of us, right?
Duh.
Our highest good, and then our carnal material.
Yeah. She's one of those, like I talked about earlier in the show, the girls that go, I'm a Scorpio and you're a Leo, we can't date. She bases way too much on astrology.
Ego. Our ego.
Yep. All right, I've heard enough of you. 856-49 Hoppy. Speaking of someone who had to clap back at all the haters.
Whoa! Happy Hot Topic!
This cracked me up.
The fact that you would even discuss my looks is insane.
Well, you're basing your whole life off of your looks, Lizzo.
A bad always been a bad.
Lizzo is speaking out after fans speculated that she used Ozempic to lose weight. The singer took to Instagram on Friday to shut down rumors that she took a popular weight loss medication as she posted a video using a viral TikTok sound with on-screen text that read, "When you finally get Ozempic allegations after 5 months of weight training and calorie deficit."
Now, you were really big. All right, there's really not that much to this video but annoying TikTok sounds. So Lizzo used to be fat and now she's thick. Good for her. This headline made me feel old. Octomom is now a grandmother.
Whoa! Happy Hot Topic!
Octomom Nadia Suleiman is a grandmother. On Sunday, September 22nd, the mom of 14 announced on Instagram the birth of her first grandchild alongside a photo of a baby's foot, writing, "Thank you, my son and my lovely daughter-in-law, for giving us this beautiful gift. We are so blessed that she is a new addition to our family. Baby girl, you are so very loved, and we can't wait to watch you grow."
She's going to be a really busy grandma.
Nadia added the date of August 30th, 2024, which appears to be when her granddaughter was born. Though she did not specify in her post which of her sons had become a father, in a 21st birthday tribute to her son Joshua on August 20th of this year, the 49-year-old appeared to suggest that it is him, as she wrote in part, "I'm so proud of the man you are becoming. You are smart, funny, hardworking, loyal, humble, and now a devoted husband and soon-to-be father." The internet personality gained worldwide attention in 2009 after she became pregnant and gave birth to the first surviving octuplets in history who were conceived via IVF. She had already 6 kids prior who were also all conceived via IVF.
Man, it's got to be hard to give all the kids equal attention.
Her firstborn was son Elijah in 2001. Now, her octuplets, Noah, Malaya, Isaiah, Nariah, Jeremiah, Jonah, Josiah, and Micah,
that's a lot of kids,
are growing up and turned 15 in January. At the time, Nadia penned a birthday tribute to them, writing, "I am so proud of the young adults you are growing into. Stay true to yourselves, humble, kind, and honest. I'm so grateful for your love and am beyond blessed to have you in my life. I love you."
You know she's a pretty good mom. She's better than John and Kate +8. All right, that's how that video is going to end. And then this headline right here, I found fascinating.
Whoa! Happy Hot Topic!
Christina Ricci is looking back on a challenging time in her life. The Addams Family alum speaks about her upbringing with fellow former child actress Demi Lovato for the
they're both so traumatized, you know that.
Hulu documentary Child Star, which was released on September 17th. In the documentary, she says, "I had a very chaotic home. My father was a failed cult leader, and so he had all that same sort of like really crazy narcissism.
You know, she's got raging daddy issues then.
That goes along with someone wanting to run a cult, and he was very physically violent. There was never any peace in my house."
That sounds awful. You could tell by all the pictures they're showing in the B-roll footage, she looks traumatized.
The 44-year-old confirms she found peace on film and TV sets, explaining to Demi, "I knew nothing totally insane was about to happen. Nobody was going to get really mad and pretend they were going to drive the car into a wall. There was this refuge of emotional safety."
Got it.
Yellow Jackets actress grew up in New Jersey as the youngest of 3 siblings. Her parents divorced when she was 13 and had just finished filming Addams Family Values, and she and her father became estranged years later.
All right, well, that's probably for the better. 856-49-HOPPY. That's 856-494-6773. I'm looking at YouTube right now, and there's a lot of videos I'm not going to talk about, but there's one of Bubba the Love Sponge playing one of his old morning shows, and it's a rat milkshake contest, and that is the most Bubba the Love Sponge thing I've ever heard. Caitlin Clark is named Rookie of the Year after an incredible first year, but fans are mad she missed out on the MVP. She wasn't going to win the MVP. That's Jay Wilson's deal. It is crazy how we know the name of female players last night. And then the Indiana Fever lost by 24 in the playoffs. Remember when the Fever began really bad in the beginning of the season and everybody was like, oh, they're done? Caitlin Clark definitely proved the haters wrong. Also here, we got this clip from everyone's favorite. I'm just being sarcastic. Angel Reese.
7'6'8".
Okay, so
Athlete,
NBA.
NBA.
Okay.
This is her talking about who she wants to date. Someone who's 6'7" or 6'8" in the NBA.
Oh, I don't know too many of them.
What that one say? What that one? They be skipping practice. And
NBA niggas skipping practice.
There's a problem though, Angel Reese. Yeah, I find you pretty attractive. Whatever. Do. Here's the thing though, NBA players are into snow bunnies. Sorry.
Tick-tock, clocks a joker playing cruel pranks. Hoppe's hour almost done, feels like robbery in banks. Ryan Hoppe on the mic, dropping wisdom in streams. Syndicated sorrow, now it's time to shatter dreams. Oh, the Hoppe Hour is coming to a close. Radio waves fading like a wilting rose. Laughter and joy dissolving in the air, but we'll keep the rhythm. Oh, life's just so unfair. But the laughter's growing dim. Eardrums mixing Hoppe like fingers without rings. DHX to FM, shoutouts hit the street, but soon the sound will vanish like shadows in the heat. Oh, the Hoppe Hour is coming to a close. Radio waves fading like a wilting rose. Laughter and joy dissolving in the air, but we'll keep the rhythm. Oh, life's just so unfair. Phone lines buzzing, but the laughter's growing dim. Eardrums mixing Hoppe like fingers without rings. DHX to FM, shoutouts hit the street, but soon the sound will vanish like shadows in the heat. Oh, the Hoppe Hour is coming to a close. Radio waves fading like a wilting rose. Laughter and joy dissolving in the air, but we'll keep the rhythm. Oh, life's just so unfair. Oh, life's just so unfair. Like clockwork to a show, and now it's time to face the silence like a TV on snow. Ryan Hoppe held the mic with humor so divine, the void left in our hearts wider than a canyon line. Empty speaker silent vibe coming to an end, like a roller coaster stopping round the river's bend. Hoppe's jokes and jabs, these are daily grind. Now silence louder than the thoughts we can't rewind. Oh, the Hoppe Hour is coming to a close. Radio waves fading like a wilting rose. Laughter and joy dissolving in the air, but we'll keep the rhythm. Oh, life's just so unfair.
Hoppe Hour. Hoppe Hour.
It's time for Hoppe in the morning.
RyanHoppeRadio.com.
And like that, he's gone.
Whenever we're going outside, all I smell is poop.
I'll kick you in the nuts and we'll call it a day.
Hoppe Hour is now over.
Hoppe Hour is now over.